precision. The quality of being precise. Perfect. Exact. Begin. Check everything. Start boarding. Stop boarding. On the signal and depart. Reach that speed. Maintain. The tunnel. Pitch black. Electric dark. A speck of light, then out. Daylight, right on time. Then the signal. Reduce speed. Apply brake, not too much. Platform in sight. Everything set. Controlled approach. Speed just right. And stop. Perfect so far. One down. 37 to go. Start boarding. Stop boarding. On the signal and depart. TS-17, the art of precision.
Hey guys, what up, Gunny here. Welcome to the first installation of Train Simulator 2016. This is going to be a new series that I'm going to be doing. So let's get stuck in and get some training. So let's head to the academy and see what we can learn. Right, we'll start off with some primary controls because I've never played this game before. So let's just start with the diesel and see how we get on. Cool. So ready to rock and roll. Okay. Need power. Congratulations on driving Locomotive. I think they're nuts for letting me do this, but hey. Right, so coast like it says. So far so good. Still on the rails, crashed. And I'm supposed to be stopping, I take it. As a train, it's just like whenever we use it independent brake. Let me. I kind of wonder how many people have failed this first scenario. Oh, that was full easy. Let's go back and do something. Primary controls, secondary controls. So what I'm planning to do is I'll start off with the diesels because they're the most common, and then we will try steam, which I'm guessing is quite a bit harder, and then I think there is also electric. So do it in that order. Probably just start off with diesel in this video and do another video on the steams. Okay, there's more to this train than simply starting and stopping. Learn about additional controls engineers frequently use. Can we change each time control is set correctly? Okay. Headlights. Without headlights. Wipers. You can't really see that much better, but hey. And that was that. That was easy. I kind of expected there to be a bit more than that, but hey. Switching junctions. In this lesson we will learn about switching junctions. Use your stuff as the title says, I guess. I would really like a different loading screen though. It seems to be the same one all the time. Whether they change as the game, you know, as you play it works. There's new things coming out, I don't know. Right, modern busy railway lines are controlled remotely by a signalling centre or dispatcher. Switches controlling the path of a train are automatic. In freight yards and depots, many small and frequent movements are required, making automatic control impractical. In yards, these switches are manual. The difference between two types of switches can be identified by the equipment. A manual switch has a lever to turn it one way or the other. An automatic switch has a small box containing a motor to drive it. Makes fair enough. Makes sense. More reading. Manual junctions can be altered by clicking the lever or pressing G on the keyboard. They can also be changed on the action menu in 2D map, which I don't remember seeing. Okay. Automatic junctions cannot be operated. Up ahead, the path through the switch is set to the left. Using the free camera, fly over the switch and click on the lever to change its direction. Once set, drive the locomotive through the switch. I don't know why that's not working. Ah, maybe that's the wrong. Ha! It's random. Okay, so switching junctions of the diesel. God, there's one for all of them. Okay. Advanced braking systems. There's something a bit harder, so more difficult. So let's try that. Okay, we'll learn about advanced braking systems. Locomotive is equipped with 3 different brake systems depending on requirement: independent, auto and dynamic. The independent brake controls systems only on the locomotive itself. This is used when running the locomotive only. Makes sense. The auto brake controls the systems along the entire train. Long trains can mean this brake takes a long time to react, so planning ahead is crucial to slow down in time to stop. The dynamic brake works by reversing the polarity of the motors, causing them to slow down. Similar to the independent brake, the dynamic brake brakes only have effect on locomotives in the train. Multifunction displays. The MFD on the right displays information about the air brakes, which are controlled using the auto brake handle. As the auto brake is increased, the equalizing reservoir ER drops from 90 psi to 0. Once the ER is set, the brake pipe or BP slowly decreases to match the ER value. Applying the auto brake also increases the BC brake cylinder, which goes up to a maximum PSI of 65, and the actual braking force. It is only affected by the BP. If the BP reaches 0, there will no longer be any pressure to apply the brakes. To recharge the BP, the auto brake must be set back to the release position. The longer the train, the longer the brakes will take to apply and recharge. The brakes cannot be gradually released or recharged. Any usage will discharge the BP, which will not start to recharge again until the handle is set back to the release position. Okay, so you basically set your brakes to what you want them and don't touch them until you stop or crash. Okay, so if you haven't applied enough pressure, you're screwed. Okay. Brake difficulty levels, and the train simulator auto brake is set to medium difficulty. Continue the lesson at this level to get used to it. Once comfortable, yeah, we'll just observe on the right the MFD, the ER's dropped from 90 psi and the BP is slowly decreasing to match. The BC will then increase, providing actual braking power. Remember, now that the brakes are applied, changing them even slightly will completely discharge the pressure. So let's not touch anything now. As indicated by the speedometer in the middle of the MFD, the train is now slowing down. However, due to its length and weight of it, it will not stop quickly, even from this low speed. Understanding how long it takes to stop is a crucial skill for the engineer. So in other words, the whole thing's freaking guesswork. Unless you work it out quickly and release it and have enough time to reapply it. Really screwed. I was sort of thinking of the stuff up there crossing, but it's not. Almost there. And we stop. It takes a really long time to stop. I did not think it would be that long. Alright. Loading and unloading. So we know how to start, stop, we know how to turn on the horn, we know how to turn on the lights, we know how to turn on the wipers. Now let's learn how to load it up. Right, learn to load and unload. Operating a train is not only about driving along the railroad, but also involves the loading and unloading of cargo. We are going to unload coal from a gondola car. Gondola cars are filled from above using giant dispensers. To load an empty car, first position it stationary under the dispenser, then with the mouse click on the dispenser. You can use the external camera view to help position the car in between the keyboard. Let's go. Click on the car and not click on the dispenser, but hey, we're doing what it says, we're doing it, so who cares. Cool, and we are full. Let's go roll. Oh. Driving forward to unloading facility, position your car over the dispenser, then using the mouse click on the dispenser. Okay, maybe I was supposed to click on the dispenser. That's enough near enough. And there's the button right there to load and unload. What have we got? Braking systems. Diesel coupling and uncoupling. It shouldn't hopefully be too bad. What could go wrong? We could just severely damage the front or the back of the train. Okay, so reverse it. Release the brakes and apply throttle. Do not exceed 3 miles per hour, otherwise you may cause damage. You're getting close to the hoppers. When getting close to the hoppers, start applying the brakes and gently bump them, coupling will occur automatically. Press 6 to enter the coupling. Successfully coupled the rake of cars. To uncouple still on the coupling camera, simply click on the coupler link between the vehicles and the locomotive will be detached. Okay. What about if there's more than one car? You can't, how the hell do you do that? Okay. Okay. Refueling. So there's DMU as well. What the heck is that? So we've got, hang on, diesel, DMU, electric and steam. So I guess we'll be doing 4 videos on this so far. Right, we will learn about refueling. Locomotive runs on diesel fuel. It is almost 5,000 gallon. Its almost 5,000 gallon tank is enough to run a family car around the world 18 times. For heavy freight trains, though, it will likely only last a single day. So a lot of diesel. To refuel, a locomotive must be stopped next to an available fuel pump. As you can see, this one is already in place. To begin, either hover the mouse button over the fuel pump and click the left button, or open the action menu and select the fuel button. I would really like to know where the action menu is. Close this message to begin. You can monitor refueling progress on the driving HUD. The gauge is represented by a fuel pump to the right of centre. And we're done. It's a bit weird, the difficulty with these. Some of them are like stupidly simple, and some of them are stupidly hard. Well, not hard, but a bit more difficult, but there seems to be no middle ground really. There's some things I think are missing with these training scenarios that we've been doing so far. Refueling, safety systems, diesel safety systems. The alert driver vigilance system, oh great. Welcome back to the cab of this diesel locomotive. We will learn about the alert driver vigilance system. Driving a train is an important job. A moving train with no driver is very dangerous. To ensure that the train is still in safe hands, a system regularly checks you are still at the controls. On this train, it is called the alerter. If there is no activity with the controls of the train for 60 seconds, the alerter will sound an alarm. You must respond in order to maintain control. If you don't, the train brakes will automatically be applied. We need to turn the alerter system on. Press Shift Control D. Okay. Nicely done. The alerter system is now on. Trains will alert 60 seconds. The system is sound. Doesn't tell me where I need to click. Right, how do I tell the system? Yep, I'm still alive. I'm driving this train. I need to find that out before the next video, I think. Okay, so we've got safety systems and that looks. Okay, we've got one left to do. No, we don't. We are going to learn about signalling. So, we've got that. 2 more to do, and that'll be us for the time being. Yeah, I do think another loading screen would be nice. You know, mix it up a bit. I think just having what's available out now is good, but you know, change it up, throw something else in there. Although I must admit the graphics in this game are pretty good. Right, we'll learn about single head signals. When multiple trains operate on a railway line, they must be separated to prevent collision. The line is divided into sections called blocks, and only one train is permitted into each block. Entry into each block is controlled by a signal. These signals are able to display 3 colours to the engineer. Watch as the train ahead pulls forward and how Signals change as a result. This means the next block is occupied by another train. This means the second block is occupied. The second block ahead is occupied. This means the third block ahead is occupied. So basically you've got red is no go. Once on the first, if they're in the first block, if they're going to the second block, the first block is orange, saying there's someone in the block directly in front of you. Well, the block that's in front of that block. Okay, that makes sense. That and we head, is it dual head blocks or multi-head? I think that's us. Yep, cool. Welcome back. We will look at multi-head signals. Splitting a track into sections to separate trains is easy. Things get complicated when there are multiple tracks and switches to change between them. Signals now need to display more information to the engineer as to what the situation is ahead of them. Ahead is a switch allowing our train to cross to the parallel track. On the signal in front are two heads, upper and lower. The upper head relates to the track we are on, the lower relates to a second route we could take beyond the signal. Watch as the signals change as the locomotive ahead progresses down the track. Okay. I get this. So he's going red, and the one at this end, the one on the right hand side on the bottom will go red as well. And if it goes into that, the one on the other side will go. The lower head indicates it is safe for the locomotive to diverge at the switch to the parallel track. The upper head indicates it is not safe to proceed along the current track. And if you forget that, you could really screw things up. Cool. I think that is us done for the time being. Awesome. That looks like the diesel's covered for the time being with the training. I'm going to leave this video here. Don't forget, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. If you don't like the video, give us a thumbs down, and there's also the comment section, so tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, and I'll take your feedback on board, because I'm here to make content, and the better I can do this, the better it is for you guys. Thanks very much. See you later.